Hello children, this is the second video of this week, class 8, and this is the revision video children, chapter number 1, operating systems. In this video, I will discuss about operating system and types of operating system. So let us start the topic. Children, I have done very hard work to prepare this video. So I hope you will watch this video till end. Chapter number 1, operating system. Now this is the revision class children. In the previous class, we have discussed about types of software. That is, it is broadly classified into two types, system software and application software. And again, system software can be classified into three types, operating system, programming software, and utility software. Operating system means Windows 7, Windows 10, Linux, Mac OS. These all are the examples of operating system. Programming software like Java, C, C++, Python. By using programming software, we can give some types of instructions to the computer. We can do some types of specific work, and we can also create application software using programming software. Utility softwares like antivirus software, backup recovery software, you can say compression software. These all are the examples of utility software. And we have also discussed introduction to operating systems. So in this class, we are going to discuss about operating system and types of operating system. What is an operating system, children? It is a very important software which controls the overall activities of your computer. It is responsible for controlling the overall activities of your computer. Now, you can say it is a software program that controls the hardware. There are many definitions. Okay, you can understand what is an operating system by the following different ways. It is a group of programs that acts as an intermediary. It interacts between a user and a computer hardware. So it acts as an intermediary between a user and a computer hardware. It controls and coordinates the use of computer resources among various application programs and users. It acts as a manager because it is responsible for the overall activity of your computer. It allows the program to communicate with one another. You can see different functions of the operating systems are memory management, resource management, security management, command interpreter, file management, and input-output management. These all are the functions of the operating system. Now, types of operating systems. The following types of the operating systems are batch operating system, time sharing operating system, distributed operating system, network operating system, and real-time operating system. So I will discuss each of them one by one. Coming to the batch operating system, children. A batch operating system is one in which jobs are bundled together in batches with the necessary instructions. There are many jobs and the jobs are bundled together in batches, and these batches are sent to the CPU for performing actions. The users of the batch operating system do not interact with the computer directly. You can see this picture. With this picture, you can understand the work of batch operating systems. There are many users, and each user wants to do some types of job. Means each user has given some types of job, some types of task to the operator. And what does operator do? Operator makes the bundle of batches. Operator makes the batches, and inside batch there are bundles of tasks together. The jobs are bundled together in the form of batches and they are sent to the computer for processing. You can see the problems with the batch operating systems are lack of interaction between the user and the job. Second, CPU is often idle because the speed of the mechanical input-output device is slower than the CPU. Sometimes it happens that some types of operations a number to ask some numbers to be entered by the keyboard, to be entered by the user, and it waits for some seconds, and user can't interact with the job. There is a lack of interaction between the user and the job. And the last disadvantage of this system is it is difficult to provide the desired priority of jobs. Suppose you have set 100 tasks, so you can't give priority to the desired task. Okay, these are the disadvantages of batch operating system. Now coming to time sharing operating system, children. It is a technique which enables many people located at various terminals to use a particular system at the same time. There are many users which are located at different terminals and they are using a particular system at the same time. Suppose in an organization there are hundreds of users and they are sitting at their place and they are using a particular system at the same time, and processor's time which is shared among multiple users. Multiple users are sending requests to a particular computer, and that's why processor time of the particular system has been shared among multiple users simultaneously and is termed as time sharing. You can see the picture. With this picture you can understand there are 6 users. There can be many users, but in this example there are only 6 users, and all the users have sent some types of work to the CPU. Suppose user 1 is watching a movie, user 2 is playing a game, user 3 is running a program. Okay, so each and every user is doing some different works at the same time. Means simultaneously they are giving requests to the CPU. And this is the main computer, this is the central computer where all the users send requests. Now what this CPU is doing, it is processing all the requests at the same time, but one by one. It is giving a fraction of second to each job. It is giving a fraction of second to each user, and that's why we don't understand, we don't know what it is doing. It is very fast. Within a fraction of second it is doing all the works, and after the completion of its time it jumps to the next job. Suppose a fraction of second, it has given a fraction of second to the user number 1, and then it jumps to the user number 2. Here it also gives a fraction of second for processing the task. Again it jumps to the user number 3. In this way the process is so fast that it looks like the CPU is processing all the works. The CPU is processing all the tasks simultaneously. Okay, it looks like that, but actually what the CPU is doing, it is giving a fraction of second to each user, and this process is very fast. It looks like that all the works are doing simultaneously. So this is the time sharing operating system. Now coming to the distributed operating system. In this system It uses multiple central processors to serve multiple real-time applications and multiple users. Data processing jobs are distributed among processors accordingly. In this case, there are more than one processor. In, in time sharing, there is only one CPU, but in distributed operating system, there is more than one CPU. There are more than one processors. Processors means what? Processor means CPU. So in this case, there are more than one CPU. And all the jobs are distributed among different CPU with a network. So data processing jobs are distributed among processors accordingly. And distributed operating system is a model where distributed applications are running on multiple computers linked by communications. You can see the picture. This is the picture of a distributed operating systems in which there are many jobs, there are many tasks which has to be processed by the CPU. And here you can see there is not a single CPU. There are many numbers of CPU. There are many CPU which all the CPUs are helpful for performing the task. Here all the CPU works simultaneously. If suppose millions and millions of tasks reach to the CPU, so all the CPU works together to perform the task. And there is a synchronization between all the CPU. There is synchronization between all the CPU due to the communication network. There is synchronization. And suppose one CPU fails, there is some error inside it. So the job is transferred to the next CPU. Okay. So in this case, millions and millions of requests can be solved within a second because there is more than one CPU in this case. This types of distributed operating system is used in banking and in many different organizations. Now, advantages of distributed operating systems are all the nodes in the distributed system are connected to each other. Failure of one node does not lead to the failure of the entire distributed system, because suppose one node is not working, one node means one CPU is not working, then the work will be transferred to the next CPU. So in this case, failure cannot be occurred. Failure cannot be possible. Now, third advantage, better service to the customers, because the processing speed is very fast. There is more than one CPU. That's why better service is there. Reduction of delays in data processing. There is a reduction of delay in data processing. And last advantage, reduction of the load on the host computer. If there is a host computer and there is a load on it, so in this case there is no load, there is a reduction of load on the host computer because there is not a single CPU, there is more than one CPU which is working simultaneously. So that's why this system is very fast. This type of operating system is very fast and it works with multiple processors. Now you have understood batch operating system, time sharing operating system, and distributed operating system. What is the main difference between time sharing and distributed? In time sharing, there is only one CPU, but in distributed operating system, there is more than one CPU. Now, in the next class, I will discuss network operating system and real-time operating system. I think you have learned these types of operating systems, and I hope you will learn the question answers for the half yearly examination. Okay, thank you students, and we will meet in the next class. Okay, bye all of you. Thank you very much.